honorees, alums, and guests. It is with great honor and a real sense of pride that I'm here tonight, being able to introduce one of the finest defensive backs ever put on a Red Hawk uniform. As a coach, when you start to recruit a young man out of high school, you don't automatically think that he's going to go into the Hall of Fame someday. You just want to recruit a young man with the idea that he's going to help the team, going to be successful. Number one, get a great education, and then when he graduates, go off and be an excellent husband, a great father, and a member of his community. With Travis, in his freshman year, I just had one wish for him, that he wouldn't get killed. I just wanted him to survive. I really did. Why do I say this? First off, Travis was not highly recruited out of high school by a lot of schools for football. In fact, I'm not sure many schools at all considered him. But when I got him on campus, I knew he had great potential to be a college football player, and a coach can sometimes really tell about an athlete by just looking in their eyes. He was going to be a great, great competitor. You see, Travis, when he came to Ripon College, had only played high school football 1 year. 1 year. Not a ringing resume for a college football coach when you look at a prospective student athlete when you only played 1 year of high school football. Travis, when he came to Ripon to play football, started off as a very shy, introverted young man. And that wasn't until he really started gaining confidence on the field. And as I went through the golf course today and talking to some of Travis's teammates and sitting at the table talking to his family and teammates, boy, was I wrong about him being shy and introverted. I heard some stories that I will not be sharing with all of you tonight. But he gained tremendous confidence on the field. In fact, he really became a pain in my neck. He really did, as he grew as a college football player. When we practiced, we would break up offense on one end, defense on the other. I ran the offense, Travis was down on the defense. And I had a plan, I had things I wanted to get done during practice, and I would look up, and here was this son of a gun in my drills going against, he would sneak out of the defense and girls come down to our end just so he could compete against the best players that we had on offense. I would kick him out, get him down to the other end of the field, and 20 minutes later, here he was again. He'd snuck down to our end of the field just so he could compete against the best players that we had. This was the kind of competitor he was. It became very clear to my staff that this was a kid that we needed to get on the field as much as possible and just let Travis be Travis. Defensively, he could literally cover half the field. And I do not say that in jest. He literally covered half the field. He had great vision, great anticipation, great athleticism. Travis was a 3-time all-conference defensive back, twice as a first-team player. He accumulated 19 interceptions in his career, which ranks him 3rd all-time and 7th in conference history. His junior year, he had 8 interceptions, which ranks him 6th all-time in school history. Didn't have a great senior year, mostly because of his junior year. Teams looked for number 3. If you found number 3, you go the other way. And that was literally what we saw. We would literally see quarterbacks and coaches pointing, there he is, go that way. And that is literally what happened. Travis was a team Special Teams Player of the Year in 2000, outstanding defensive back in 2001 and 2, team captain in 2002, and defensive MVP in 2002. Travis was a member of the 2001 Midwest Conference Championship team, and a really great honor that Travis was able to achieve also was in 2002, he represented the USA in Ripon College football and Division III in the Aztec Bowl in Mexico. This was an all-star game pitting the top Division III players in the nation against the Mexican national team, a game in which we won. Travis is married to his lovely wife, Sarah. They have 3 children and currently works at the Nicolay National Bank where he serves as vice president. So as I started off, we want our kids to be successful as husbands, fathers, and members of their community, and that is exactly what has happened to Travis, and it is with great pride that I introduce Travis LeRoy to the Hall of Fame class of 2016.
I do think it's very important to acknowledge a few people. First off, awards like this never happen unless you have great coaches, great teammates, and great family. So there's no way I'm up here today in front of you without those three things. In general, first off, I want to acknowledge the other Hall of Famers tonight. Awesome accomplishments. I'm actually a little bit disappointed at you, Coach, that you didn't recruit David after hearing about his home story. He sounds like a really tough guy, as you can see. Coach Ernst, I think you hit the nail on the head. I was a really, really raw football player when I got to school. I always thought I was a baseball player growing up. That's all I ever wanted to do. In fact, I came to this school because I wanted to play baseball for Coach Gillespie. But going through the first camp, and yes, I was quiet, but inside, I really connected with a lot of my upperclassmen, with a lot of my teammates here today. And I knew after that first camp that I was a football player. And thanks to great coaching from Coach Ernst, Coach C, Coach Luke, they really turned me into a football player, and the mental aspect of the game, I just loved it, and I thank you for that. Secondly, I mentioned teammates. I had a lot of great ones, way too many to mention here tonight, but I look at football, and one of the reasons why I loved it so much is because it is, without a doubt, the ultimate team sport. Each of you on the field have a job to do, and you're coached to do that one job. And if you don't, you let your team down. So that happened to me, actually. It's hard for me to talk about. But as a sophomore, we had a very, very good team. And I let my team down against the University. It was a cover 3, I remember the play. It was a cover 3 coverage, and I cheated over, and the receiver I was supposed to be covering got behind me. Turned into like a 65-yard touchdown. We had St. Norbert's on the ropes that year. And yeah, that was hard. But from failure comes great things. I remember working very, very hard. Every off season, when after work, when I wanted to go home, I would think about that play. And I would think about letting my teammates down. And that made me work harder. So football gets a really bad rap, especially this day and age, with concussions and all this talk. Football turned me into a man. It turned a boy into a man. And going through those failures turned me into a man. I mentioned family as well. I have my family here tonight. Sarah, my wife, I love you. She was there while I was playing on the football field as my girlfriend. She stuck with me through it all. And Mom, I know I was a sassy kid, but